was it? What was it like for you growing up in the Ludlow neighborhood? What did you like about growing up in Ludlow?
It was pleasant. I made friends from the other race. One of my friends was Dick Brubaker, who came up to me after I read my Black History report that the teacher had asked me to write. And I used a book called 13 Against the Odds, which highlighted Lena Horne, wow, Joe Louis, E. Sims Campbell, Gordon Parks, who was a photographer for Life magazine. And he said, Ann, I didn't know that blacks lived in Shaker. And I said, what, you thought they all lived on Scoville? And he told my daughter that he would never forget that as long as he lived.
Yeah.
And I invited him and Bert Griffin. Okay. Bert Griffin was in my homeroom, and he was a lawyer, and he was one of the ones that was invited to come to D.C. to prove that Lee Harvey Oswald was the sole murderer of
John F. Kennedy.
John F. Kennedy.
Yeah. Wow.
And that was about a 6-week project.
Wow.
And he made big money for that, I'm sure.
I'm sure. Yeah, and that's that's major history. Thank you for sharing that. That's an interesting piece of history.
Right.
So now, you are an avid historian and scrapbooker. Avid historian, scrapbooker. So why is it important for you to preserve history? What do you love about scrapbooking and keeping up with history?
History makes you feel strong. Oh, it's coming out. Yeah. Because as you get older, you're lonely for the good old days.
Yeah.
And when you have those good memories of people that you related to, it poses an anchor for you, makes an anchor for you.
I just want to, as far as the kids, what words of wisdom do you have for parents? What would you have tell parents for kids that are coming through the system now?
Well, as I said before, check your children to make sure that they do their homework and help them. If it's something that you can't help them with, assist them to getting to the person who can help them.
That's very, very good advice. Now, do you consider yourself a pioneer? Do you consider yourself a trailblazer?
Yes, but my parents were the real trailblazers, because they insisted that I go to Shaker schools where I could get a better education.
Yeah. And then you, of course, you went on to spend some time at Fisk and Ohio State. Do you want to talk about that a little bit? Ohio University, right?
Pardon?
You went to time at Fisk, spent some time at Fisk, and you spent some time at OU, right?
Yeah, I graduated from OU.
You want to spend
with the other girl who was with me at Shaker.
And that was Miss Burl Hannon, who graduated. Right. And you both graduated from OU together.
Right.
I think that's phenomenal.
Right.
That is awesome. Now,
one other thing I'd like to add.
Sure.
What was it? Sherry Stouffer was one of my classmates.
Oh, wow.
And her father and uncle owns Stouffer's Food.
Wow.
And also a group of us got together and had an 80th birthday party. And I invited Dick Brubaker and Bert Griffin. The Crosby Ramey was the custodian at the high school.
Yes.
I knew him because he was also a trustee at my church,
Okay.
Mount Zion Congregational Church.
Okay.
And he was also the president of the NAACP.
Wow.
And when I got ready to graduate, he asked me if I wanted him to appeal to the NAACP to make me be the first black teacher at Shaker.
Wow.
And I said, no, indeed.
Yeah.
I want to go to Fisk, where I can have some social life.
Okay.
Another thing that of interest is that my mother and my grandmother both graduated from Shaw the same night,
Oh, wow.
because my grandmother had been a teacher.
That's Shaw University?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Mhm.
You were saying your grandmother had been a teacher?
So I have a picture of them graduating.
Oh, that is wonderful. That is excellent. Mrs. Rosemond, tell me about your father and Dr. George Washington Carver.
My father went to Tuskegee at age 12,
Wow.
where Dr. George Washington Carver was one of his science teachers who was so impressed with how smart he was in science that he recommended that my father go to Meharry to become a doctor. He didn't have enough money for the equipment for a doctor, so he became a dentist. And he made the highest grade of any student who had taken the dental board for Alabama ever.
Wow, that is amazing.
So he had the Alabama State Board license, Ohio license, and Indianapolis license. When he went back in 1975, he told me that he still had the highest grade.
He still had the highest grade score.
Mm-hmm.
And he went to college when he was 12. He went to college when he was 12.
Yeah, to Tuskegee.
Yeah, well, my dad went to Alabama A&M when he was 16.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they
Yeah.
didn't have high school for those people in those days. That's the trouble.
Well, my parents graduated both from Industrial High School in Birmingham, Alabama, which was
Okay.
the only all-black high school in
Right.
Birmingham,
Mhm.
which became, and then they named it Parker High after the very first black principal.
Oh.
But yeah, my dad went to college when he was 16 too. That was
Yeah.
wow. We had some smart dads.
Right.
So
And
I'm proud of it.
I have a picture in the family room of Booker T. Washington, but I won't give it up because if I do, somebody might get more for it than I want.
I know what you're talking about it.
He used to have that hanging in his office.
Yeah, it's just like, my father was an avid reader. So I have my father's book collection.
Yeah.
So I have an original copy of The Miseducation of the Negro
Okay.
by George Washington Carver. And I won't give mine up either.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, so what we want to do is we want to talk a little bit about your memories in Shaker. So could you tell me the story about Jolyn Wiggins being called a nigger and what the teacher said?
Jolyn came home and told her grandmother, Mrs. Harris, that John Doe had called her a nigger.
Okay.
And she went to the principal and told the principal that. And the principal said, well, Jolyn, you are a little colored girl.
Right, so she equated you equated her being a colored girl.
She was a very pretty little girl,
Yeah,
too.
but she was still thought to be a nigger.